ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. How good it is,
How good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. How good it is,
how good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh no, we can do much better than that. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
That was better. I still think you could do better than that. In our Jewish tradition, Shabbat is a reminder that there is the 6 days of creation from the book of Genesis. The idea that God created for 6 days, and on the seventh day, God stopped and ceased and had Shabbat and recognized what was Hitov, what was good in the world. And Shalom, well, Shalom is our Jewish people's greatest prayer. It's a prayer for peace. It's our prayer for wholeness. And we say Shabbat Shalom, we say that this can be a day of wholeness and peace, a day of returning to the very essence of who we are, a day of refreshment and renewal, and letting the sort of outside world be the outside world, and letting ourselves enjoy and be together in this moment. And there's a variety of ways that we do that. First, we should let the outside world be the outside world, and we should allow ourselves to be in the sacred oasis of time of this Shabbat. And we can do so by actually taking our phones out. If you want to go ahead and take your phone out, that's okay. The rabbi's actually saying, take your phone out, right? You can take your phone out, and if you want to, take that one picture, that's okay too for right now. But you can take that one picture, go for it, right? And then we're going to put our phones onto Shabbat mode, which suspiciously looks like an airplane. All right, they have borrowed it from us, and but it's a good thing. And so put it on Shabbat mode, put it on that airplane mode. Let the outside world be the outside world. The second thing is that there are people who are joining us. I know there's a lot of people from New Jersey and New York and Florida, which in my opinion is just the same state. And I know, I went there. But we have lots of people who are all over the place, but we also have people who are joining us from around the country and around the world and from their homes or even from hospital rooms. And we want to say Shabbat Shalom and to welcome them. There are 2 cameras right behind us, and so we're going to turn in our seats, and we're going to wave and say Shabbat Shalom to everyone who is
Shabbat
at home.
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. And then, since we have practiced saying it to me, and you have practiced saying it to the people at home, we're going to turn and say Shabbat Shalom to the north, the south, the east, and the west, in every single direction. And let's welcome one another here into this space. So say Shabbat Shalom to one another. In our Jewish tradition, the prayers are an opportunity for us to reflect on our lives and to understand our lives in the greater world that we live. And the prayers that we have are actually, they're beautiful mirrors into sort of our souls. And we give thanks to God, whether it's for our souls and our lives or for the things that we have in the world and for the blessings of creation and for really everything. And so the prayers themselves are a beautiful aspect of what's happening. Stella, as you know, is going to be leading our Shabbat morning service. And when I say that Stella is leading our Shabbat morning service, as you will see, Stella is leading our Shabbat morning service.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. Okay? So I'm gonna, I don't really have a role. This is my job right here. Okay? But with Stella's service this morning, the service that she's leading is not Stella performing in front of everyone. This is a Shabbat service for all of us. This is an opportunity for all of us to participate in the service. And so whether we're singing or we're reading or we're in English, or we want you to participate. Now, underneath your chairs, there is a prayer book. And if you want to grab the prayer book, you can absolutely take that out, okay? And this prayer book is kind of strange in that every 2 pages is like one really large page, okay? And so if you find yourself, and Stella has led something and we're reading along, and if you find that you are lost, there's a really classic Jewish tip for finding your way, and that is turn the page, okay? I can almost guarantee, if you're lost, turn the page and we'll be there. But also, the screens this morning have on the lower right-hand side the page number, and so you can follow along on the screen and in your book, and there might be times where you are following along, and if you don't know Hebrew, there's transliteration, give your try. If you really don't know the song that we're singing, if you want to sing Lie, 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 that's also a very Jewish thing, or Yai Die, that's a very Jewish thing. Just participate. We want this to be a totally interactive Shabbat morning service. Our first prayer this morning is a prayer that is all about our souls and about the gift of our souls and the gift of our lives, thanking God for the souls that we have. We continue with the words of Elohai Neshama.
Elohai, Elohai, Neshama.
Later on in the service, we will chant the Ve'av Ta, which is about loving God and taking to heart the instructions that God bestowed upon us. It states that we should impress these prayers upon our children and influence others with them to remain holy in the eyes of God. This prayer tells us to take these instructions with us wherever we go and to wear them as a symbol on your forehead. One part of the prayer that stood out to me quite a lot was one line that stated, "Bind them as a sign on your hand and wear them as a symbol on your forehead," which is talking about the instructions. The definition of the word bind is to fasten something upon someone as an indisputable authority. The Ve'av Ta is telling us to bind these instructions upon us, and in my interpretation, it tells us to perceive these instructions as a gift, one that we may spread to others to help us all reach a holy path. The theme of this prayer is relevant to our world today, as it speaks of spreading God's love to our family and our friends. It tells us how we can influence others in our lives for the better. When it states in the prayer, bind them as a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead, it tells us that we should wear God's instructions proudly as a part of our lives, and that they should remain with us throughout our lives and to become holy with God's words. In my life, I have experienced the influence of God's words. During an argument, I remembered the Ve'av Ta and its words to show love to God, and by extension, spread love to others. Quickly after, we came to a compromise. This was an important moment in my life where I realized the true impact that the spread of God's love can have, and I continued to apply God's instructions to my life. This message, to wear them as a symbol on your forehead, is very important because it teaches us to carry these instructions proudly as a part of ourselves and our lives as well. It teaches us to help spread this love that God bestowed upon us, and it teaches us to make the world a better place through actions inspired by God's words. The Ve'av Ta delivers an exceptionally valuable message about the spread of God's love and the spread of God's words through ourselves and our lives. Shirkoa.
We turn now to page 226. Please rise.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, yotzer or uvarei kosech, oseh shalom uvarei et hakol, hameir la'aretz, v'ladarim alecha barachamim, uvtivo mechadesh bechol yom tamid, ma'aseh v'reshit, ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai, Kulam b'chokma asita, mal'ah ha'aretz kinyanecha, titbarach Adonai Eloheinu, al shavach ma'aseh yadecha, ve'al ma'ororei or shi'asita, yifa'arucha sela, or chadash al tzion ta'ir, v'nizke kulanu hira le'oro, Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer Hamet Orot. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol, all these things your Torah gives to us, and the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha bevetecha uvletecha v'derech u'shokbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'letotafot bein einecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha leman tiskevru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
You have stayed long enough in this place, God said. Time to go forward. Turn your face to the future. Believe that you can cross the sea and survive. Inside you is a Moses. Within you Miriam dances, unafraid. Lift up your voice and sing a new song.
Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neder b'kodesh, nora tehilot osei velech, nora tehilot osei velech.
שירה חדשה שבחו גאולים לשמך שפת היום יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו
Adonai yimlo le'olam va'ed. Adonai yimlo le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la.
צור ישראל קומה בעזרת ישראל ופדחנו ממך יהודה וישראל גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו קדוש ישראל ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor VaHanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei HaKol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, U'mevii Geula Livnei Bneihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechei HaKol Atah Rav Le'oshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechakel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Nofelim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayim Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'leman Atah L'Chayot HaKol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechayei HaKol.
Nekadesh Leshimcha ba'olam, Keshem Shemakdashim ba'otot b'shneim, Hakatuv Nevi'echa, Lecharaz Ezeh ba'amar.
Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Melech haaretz kevodo.
Adir Adivenu Adonai, Adonenu ma'adir Shimcha b'chol ha'aretz.
Baruch kevod Adonai mimkomo.
Echad hu Eloheinu, hu Avinu hu Malkeinu, hu Moshiach hu Yashmienu, Berachamav le'enei kol chai.
Ani Adonai
Elohechem,
Yimloch Adonai le'olam, Elohai Yitzzion, Ledor Ba'ador, Hallelujah.
Le'dor b'dor nagid lotecha, u'netzach nitzachim, Kedesh atah naqdish v'shivchacha Eloheinu midinu yamush le'olam ba'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat, B'korei Onei Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat, B'korei Onei Shabbat.
Mekadeshei, Mekadeshei Shvi,
Shabbat,
Kulam Yisbe'u, V'yutangu Mitzuvecha.
Shabbat, Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat, B'korei Onei Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat, B'korei Onei Shabbat.
Shvi Ratzi Tabo Vikidashto.
Shabbat.
Chemdat Yamim Oto Kerata.
Shabbat.
Yismechu V'malechutecha. Shomrei 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 Shabbat V'korei Onei Shabbat. Yismechu V'malechutecha. Shomrei 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 Shabbat V'korei Onei Shabbat. Zecher Lema'aseh Bereshit.
Shabbat.
Zecher Lema'aseh Bereshit.
Shabbat.
Yismechu V'malechutecha. Shomrei 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 Shabbat V'korei Onei Shabbat. Yismechu V'malechutecha. Shomrei 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 Shabbat V'korei Onei Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
We now take time for silent prayer.
Shalom Bimroma. Uyase Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel. Ve'imru.
Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, V'imru.
We come now to Seder Kriyat Torah Shabbat, the service for the reading of the Torah on Shabbat. And our Jewish tradition tells us that our people experienced slavery and servitude in Egypt, that we had the audacity, we had the chutzpah to imagine a better place in the promised land and to walk towards that promise together. Along our path and along our journey, our tradition tells us that we stopped at Mount Sinai, where our people received the Torah and the teachings, not just for the generation that lived in the time of the Exodus, not just the generation that was living in the desert and on that journey, but that they received the Torah and the teachings as a gift for all future generations. And that the way that the Israelites guaranteed that that tradition would last for an eternity, would last forever, is to make sure that we had an ethic not just of keeping the Torah in the realm of sages and teachers, but making sure that we actually pass the Torah l'dor v'dor from generation to generation into the arms of our young people. And the idea is that by teaching the Torah to our young people, that they can live with those values in their lives, that they can live with the instructions and walk in the world with the strength and knowledge of who they are, and to imagine their own better place in promised land and to make it possible. Each and every Shabbat morning, we reenact that Sinai experience. We don't actually have in Charlotte, North Carolina, a Mount Sinai, but we do have an ark, right? And the Torah actually just rests there because it's supposed to be used by our people. And so in a moment, we'll rise and we'll take the Torah from the ark and we'll pass it l'dor v'dor from generation to generation into Stella's arms. And she'll walk with the Torah and then read the Torah and interpret the Torah for us and teach us as well. To help us do this, I'm going to invite a variety of people to come up. To open the ark doors, we want to invite forward Jerry Bernstein and Lester Taub and Melissa Green-Taub. If you will come forward and come stand right behind us at the ark. And I'm going to invite Neil and Kelly, if you will come join Stella. And the only people that we're missing are all of you. If you will please rise as we take the Torah from the ark. Stella, take a moment to do a couple of things for me. One, to look at your parents in their eyes. And just to take this moment in, to look at your parents and to recognize their smiling faces and the love that they have for you and the joy that they have to pass this Torah to you. And then I want you to look back at the ark and see your family members who are standing there. They're looking at the ark too, but I want them to look at you, all right? And to see your face. And then take a moment, because this is the little tip that I gave the bar and bat mitzvah students. I tell them to look at the door handles, not at each of you, okay? But now is the time to just take a moment to look at all the people who are here, representing and including your little brother who's waving at you. And to recognize the love of the people who are here surrounding you, of family and friends and support systems, all cheering you on as you take the Torah into your arms and walk with it in your life. My Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Oh man. If you want to close it, thank you.
Your side.
I know. Yishkach. Thank you. Oh.
That's what you spent for her.
I know, but where is it? Kadosh Adonai Heinu Romemu.
Being a teenager has never been easy. And being a teenager in today's world, with the ever-growing expanse of social media, the constant presence of technology, can lead to an inescapable sense of social pressure. Add to it the normal challenges of academic demands, family conflicts, and friendship groups, and it's no wonder that many people my age feel stressed, anxious, and alone. Well, that's a bleak opening, isn't it? And what does this have to do with the Torah portion that I'm about to read? My Torah portion, Parashat Tetzaveh, takes place after the ancient Israelites escaped slavery in Egypt. They were located somewhere in the wilderness outside of the land of Israel and are camped near the foot of Mount Sinai. My Torah portion describes the commandments regarding how to build and purify a mikdash, an altar, where God would meet and speak with the people during their journey towards the Promised Land. Parashat Tetzaveh includes a powerful lesson in the importance of God's presence in our lives, especially during times of hardship. We may not have fled slavery in Egypt and journeyed by foot through a painstaking desert, but this Torah portion reminds us that God is always there for us, watching over and guiding us, and provides us with guidance on how to cultivate a sense of holiness within ourselves. The verse, "For there I will meet with you, and there I will speak with you," 29:42, has been interpreted by many rabbis as a declaration of God's constant presence with us. Rashi, a medieval French rabbi, explains that this verse serves as a reassurance that God is always there to listen to our prayers and respond to our needs. The Ramban, a Spanish rabbi, teaches that God's promise to meet with the Jewish people at the tabernacle symbolizes God's constant ability to us, regardless of where we are or what we are going through. But what if we can become God's sacred vessel on earth? What if we can become the mikdash, the place where God's presence shows up in the life of others? This will require us to be the one who is on another person's side, to listen, to hear, to comfort, to support, and to try and understand the anxieties, fears, and needs of other people. We can bring holiness and godliness into this world by how we show up and support one another, just as God does for each of us. Sometimes, when we are experiencing a difficult part of our lives, we can feel very alone. It can feel like no one is on our side, or that no one understands what we are going through. But my Torah portion reminds us that no matter where we are, no matter how we feel, God is always on our side, and God is always with us. And each of us can be a vessel for God, too, in the way we are kind, caring, and compassionate. So when we feel alone, pressured, or just struggling in general, we should remember the teachings of the Tetzaveh, which reminds us that God is always with us, providing us with the strength and courage we need to overcome any difficulties we may face. We can also draw upon God's strength during times of hardship. The teachings of the rabbis encourage us to remember the presence and availability of God in our lives, and to always strive to live with our best values by showing up for those in need. Shabbat Shalom.
For the first Aliyah, I'd like to invite forward Stella Taub, Bill and Connie Winkle, and Anne and Lance Lucas. Bill and Connie? Great. Thank you. Come over here. Perfect. Bill and Connie, can you read the English first? Just right. This first thing's right here.
Holy One of blessing, your presence fills creation. You have enlightened this path with the wisdom of Torah, giving it to the Jewish people as their particular way. Blessed are you, merciful one, who gives this Torah to the Jewish people.
Yep.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher bacha banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Ve'asita le'aharon uvana kaha kechol asher tziviti otacha shivat yamim temale yadam ufarchatat ta'aseh layom al hakipurim vechiteta al hamizbeach vechapercha alav umashachta oto lekadesho shivat yamim techaper al hamizbeach vekidashta oto vehaya hamizbeach kodesh kodashim kohanogea bamizbeach yikdash.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Holy One of blessing, your presence fills creation. This Torah is a teaching of truth, whole and balanced, and from it comes eternal life for the people who embrace it. Blessed are you, merciful one, who gives this Torah to the Jewish people.
Amen. We say, hold on for 1 second, don't anywhere. We say Yesher Koach, which it means keep up the strength. In Charlotte, North Carolina, we say keep pounding. To keep up the strength, to honor Shabbat, to honor the Torah, to honor our people, to honor Stella. And I know this is going to be very difficult, but I need you to give her a big hug, okay? And go stand on the other side of Cantor Thomas. It's my pleasure to invite forward your parents, Neil and Kelly.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
V'zeh asher ta'aseh al hamizbeach kevasim b'nei shana shenayim layom tamid et hakeves hayechad ta'aseh v'boker v'et hakeves hasheni ta'aseh bein ha'arbaim ve'isaron solet balu b'shemen katit reva hahin v'nesech revi'it hahin yain lakeves hayechad v'et hakeves hasheni ta'aseh bein ha'arbaim keminchat haboker uchnizka ta'aseh la l'reach nichoach ishe la'Adonai.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah tamet v'chayei olam atah b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. Yesher koach, keep up the strength, and for honoring Shabbat and honoring Torah and raising great kids in our community, please give her a big hug.
Great job. Seriously.
All right, Stella, it is your turn. On the honor of you becoming a bat mitzvah, it is our privilege to call you Stella Taub. Ta'amot Sarah bat Nusan ben Sarah v'Kelly habat mitzvah la'aliyah la'Torah.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
Olo tamid לדורותיכם פתח אוהל מועד לבני אדוני אשר יוועד לכם שמה לדורו עליך שם ונועדתי שמה לבני ישראל ונקדש בכבודי וקידשת את אוהל מועד ואת המזבח ואת אהרון ואת בניו אקדש לכהן לי ושכנתי בתוך בני ישראל והייתי לכם לאלוהים. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. And we say aloud, Yesher koach. For honoring Torah and honoring Shabbat and for becoming a bat mitzvah in our community today, for all of the wisdom that you have brought, Yesher koach, a beautiful, beautiful job. As we have the Torah out, we take time each and every Shabbat to think of those in our community who are in need of healing. And the names of people that we know about who are in need of healing of mind and body and spirit are going to be placed onto the screen. And we want to invite you to share names of people that you're thinking about, whether there are people who are at home or in hospital rooms, or there are people who are right next to you, or maybe it's yourself too. We invite you, as my eyes go around the congregation, to say out loud or even silently in your own heart the names of people that you're thinking about so that we can pray for them as one community. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Baruch atah Adonai Rofeh Cholim. Blessed are you, O God, who walks with, who supports, who comforts those in need.
Misheberach Avotenu Mekor HaBeracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach Imotenu Mekor HaBeracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
I'd like to invite forward Wendy Brenman and also Ephraim Brenman, if you'll come forward, to dress the Torah and to lift the Torah first, actually. And I ask the congregation to please rise. Zot HaTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe. Yai lai 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 yai dai dai yai dai yai dai 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 yai dai dai yai. And the other way around. In our tradition, we have on Shabbat mornings a tradition of reading. Excuse me. In our tradition, we have a tradition of reading something called Haftarah. Haftarah has no relation to the word Torah. Haftarah means an additional reading. And the reason why it's additional is that there were times and places in Jewish tradition where we were actually prevented from reading Torah. And so our rabbis actually looked at the books of prophets and they connected each sections of the books of prophets to the Torah reading that we would have read on that Shabbat, and sort of subtly brought the values of that Torah portion into the sanctuary, even though they were prevented from reading from the actual book of Torah. This week's Haftarah portion comes from the book of Ezekiel, specifically Ezekiel chapter 43. And what Ezekiel is speaking about here is the recreation of the Mishkan, the recreation of the tabernacle, the recreation of the sanctuary, while the people had been in exile in Babylonia, and the sanctuary had been destroyed. And so if we understand the Mishkan and the tabernacle, the ideas of it being in this week's Torah portion, and then this became the model for the holy temple that existed in Jerusalem. And then when that was destroyed, Ezekiel is sort of hearkening back both to this Torah portion and to the temple in Jerusalem, and speaking about the recreation of a new temple in Jerusalem based on the initial ideas of this Torah portion. So, with that, Stella is going to chant the opening blessing, verses from the Haftarah, and the concluding blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nviim tovim v'ratza v'divreihem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah u'Moshe avdo u'Yisrael amo u'Minviei hamed v'tzedek. Atah ben Adam haged et bit Yisrael et habayit v'yikalemu me'avonotechem u'madedu et kochnit. Ve'im nechlemu mikol asher asu surat habayit utechunato umotzav umavav v'chol tzurotav ve'et kol hukotav v'chol tzurotav otam uchtov le'neihem v'yishmeru et kol tzurato ve'et kol hukotav ve'yasu otam. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzur kol halomim tzadik b'chol hadarot ha'el hane'eman ha'omer ve'oseh hamadaber u'mekayim shekol devarav emet v'tzedek al haTorah ve'al ha'avada ve'al ha'nevi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatat lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha v'limnucha lechavod u'tefaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach u'mivarchim otach yitbarak shimcha befi kol hai tamid le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
Amen. And we say Yasher Koach.
I would like to start off by thanking Rabbi Knight and Cantor Mary, for they have helped me to take huge steps in the learning of the Torah and in preparation for my bat mitzvah. Thank you to everyone here today. It means a lot to me that you showed up. Thanks to the family who traveled to be here, and thanks to Jack, who put down his Nintendo to be here. You always manage to make me laugh, no matter how I feel or where I'm at. You are the best brother, and I love you so much. A special thanks to my Aunt Claire for all the consultation that she has provided us. Thank you for teaching me more about the Torah. And of course to my parents, for constantly supporting and for helping to advise and guide me along the way. Mom, Thank you for supporting me and planning everything for this weekend. Thank you for always being there for me. I can always turn to you for advice and love. Dad, thank you for helping me to learn to read the Torah, and thank you for always being supportive of me and my interest. You always show up, no matter what it's for. Mom and Dad, I love you both. Please join me on the bima.
Well, I first want to offer a prayer of thanksgiving to God for the absolute privilege of watching you grow and being able to gather here today with so many friends and family. Stella, may you draw from the strength and the wisdom of tradition and those who came before you and make them your own. May you have dreams that inspire you, and may your pursuit of those dreams be fulfilling. May you laugh often. May you be a support to those who have fallen, and may your needs be fulfilled. May you draw strength from your community and remember to give back. May you always have good friends and be a good friend to others. May you find true, enduring love and be blessed with children as wonderful as you and Jack. May you always feel the love of family. May you remember in whose image you were created. And as you take your place among the Jewish people of your generation, may God grant you a long, happy, healthy, and peaceful life. Mazel tov.
I invite the congregation to please rise. Stella, I never like to speak for Cantor Thomas because she has her own voice, but I know for a fact that both of us are looking forward to becoming a madricha in our community. And both of us are looking forward to the continued wisdom that you have because you've just been offered so much and have done such a great job. Your Torah portion speaks about the building of the Mishkan. And your Torah portion speaks about all of the accoutrement and all of the sort of vessels that exist and the clothes that are worn. And you spoke about it beautifully, about the eternal idea that God is always present in our lives. And that word, that eternalness, that word is in your Torah portion in the word tamid, right? You had the word tamid, you chanted the word tamid today, and it means eternal, like Ein Sof, there is no beginning and no end. It is something that is always there. And in fact, the eternal light, which is right up there in our congregation, looks straight up. You see it? Oh, yep, you got to look even further. Right. There it is, above you. That eternal light is described in your Torah portion as always there. But it requires us to continually, to tamid, care for the light. And our tradition tells us that we do that by creating a regular practice of learning and living and prayer and ritual. And through that regular practice, those rituals help us to understand how God is eternally present in our lives. That when we care for others, that care for others helps us to understand how God is eternally present in our lives, just as you spoke about. And that we tap into the one that we call echad, to the notion and understanding of God in our world through the ways in which we live our lives every day. You have brilliantly led us in our congregation and taught us and have a soul that is filled with laughter and creativity and reading and writing and a way of tapping in to the eternal goodness that exists around us. And our congregation, I know, and Cantor Thomas, I know, we are so thrilled to offer a prayer to you, a prayer that's at the very center of the Torah, and something that our whole congregation is going to participate in blessing you now. After Cantor Thomas chants each stanza of Birkat Kohanim, I'm going to translate, and then each of us, we're going to say, Ken Yehi Ratzon. Let's try that. Say, Ken Yehi Ratzon. Put that together. Say, Ken Yehi Ratzon. May this be God's will.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you. Ken Yehi Ratzon.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's radiance shine upon you and be gracious to you. Ken Yehi Ratzon.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasim lecha shalom.
And may God walk with you each and every day of your life. May God bless you with the most important blessings of all, the blessing of shalom, of peace, and shleimut, of wholeness. Ken Yehi Ratzon. May this be God's will. And let us all say,
Amen.
we're going to continue with the words of Aleinu L'Shabeach.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol,
Lateit gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu koreim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech malchei hamelachim, hakadosh baruch hu, v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo, u'shemo, u'shemo echad. At this time, we think in our community of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts as our own. Our congregation mourns the passing of Robert Lieberman, whose funeral will be this weekend. And we are in a period of Shloshim, the first 30 days after the deaths of Irene Davis, Tricia Devereaux, Ron Hampton, Joanne Seckler, and Michael Cecil. We mark with sympathy and sadness the yard sites, the anniversaries of the deaths of Beston Jack Abrams, Leo Aft, Ann Barr, Robert T. Benjamin Jr., Judy Biber, Joshua Emil Blyer, Bernice Brass, Jane Brink, Lily Rachel Brown, Sonia Burke, Lorenza Kagidis, Sidney Burchaski, Rose Cohen, Saul Cohen, Howard Cooper, Harriet Cohen Davidson, Sylvia Diamond, Danielle DiNicola, Dolores Dubbs, Martin Fisher, Samuel Fleet, Herbert Foster, Morton N. Fox, Celia Goldfarb, Marvin Goldman, Luis Goldstein, Laser Galinsky, Doris Gross, Archie Grossman, Walter Gutman, Jack Hambry, Howard H. Hyman, Jennifer Hunt, Ida Herlick, Helen Hyman, Samuel James, Frank Mack Jones Jr., David Joseph, Lonnie Kahn, Myra Kenrick, Mark Katz, Irving Katz, Glendine Keeling, Harry Kessler, Craig Kirsch, Elizabeth Klein, Jack Lash, Gladys Lavitan, Julius Levine, Howard Levine, Louis Elliott Levine, George A. Levy, Frank Norman Lewis, Mona Lieberman, Max Markle, Gregory Marks, Samuel Mendelson, Dave Miller, Stephen Mitchell, Shirley Perlman Mittler, Edwin Nykiel, Seymour Packman, Muriel Palanker, Bonislava Pinkney, Martin Pollock, Marion M. Rothman, Thomas Ryan, Leo Benjamin Schwartz, Mildred Millie Seidler, Ida Shear, Eva Smilowitz, Jerome Smith, Fred Smolin, Mary Sosnowitz, Adelaide Stein, Boris Suckman, Lillian Sutker, Herman Urowski, Bernard Weinberg, Sanford Wine, Henrietta Henny Witzer. Stella's family wishes to remember on this day Roy Taub, Jack, and Stella Taub. Remember as well all who died in the Shoah and the Holocaust, our American servicemen and women and first responders who've given their lives for our freedoms and safety, and those who died defending the state of Israel. Zichronam livracha, may all of their memories be for a blessing, as we rise as one congregational family with the words of Kaddish Tom, the mourner's Kaddish. Yitzkadal v'yitzkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach chirutei ve'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei almaya. Yitzbarach v'yitztabach v'yitzpa'ar v'yitzramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitzhadar v'yitzhaleh v'yitzhalal shemei t'gusha berichu. Le'elamin kol birchata b'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, huya aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Oseh shalom bimromav, huya aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
I'm going to invite your brother up here, and I know, come on up, and your parents as well. And we're going to conclude our service with words of Shehechianu and Kiddush and Hamotzi. And then afterwards, everyone is invited to a luncheon, and it's going to be in the David Silverman Social Hall, which is, just because if you can get lost, you can go right or left. We're going to come out and then go to your left and another left. It's really easy. But we thank God for not only giving us life, but helping to sustain our lives, to help us reach joyous occasions just like this, as we say the words of Shehechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen
L'chaim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
we say Shabbat Shalom?
Shabbat Shalom.
And Mazel Tov.
Mazel Tov.